Dino Luzi energy drink. Yeah, it's that good.
And APB, American Protection Bureau, voted #1 best on Long Island for all your security needs. Call 631-390-9050. That's 631-390-9050. APB.
Thinking it over, the things you said to me. Started with something, with nothing, now we leave. So you were with me for a while, but now you're gone. And you know, wherever you go, I'm not far behind. I'm not far behind. Starting all over. Too many times we tried, pulling us under. Our time's been swept aside. So you were with me for a while, but now you're gone. And you know, wherever you go, I'm not far behind. I'm not far behind. Oh.
What's up there, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to In the Dungeon with the Taskmaster, Kevin Sullivan, and our homie over there, Mr. Andrew Anderson, the Reinforcer. Good evening, gentlemen.
What's up, gentlemen? How are you, Kevin? How are you, Maddie?
I'm fine. How are you guys?
I'm all right. I ate like a fat bastard, had a couple burgers, chicken strips. I'm kind of an animal, but we know this already.
Well, last night you got me sick with that cigar. Actually, I got myself sick. I inhaled when you guys started to make me laugh. You were doing your Ukrainian bride impression.
Show me the money, bitch. Give it to me. Give it to me. You fucking bitch. Show me now.
And I inhaled the wrong type of vapor, so to speak. So, and I almost turned green, yellow, and puked on the way home.
Yeah. All the things he's done in his life. It's one of my cigars that's going to kill him.
Yeah.
I got, Kev, I got nothing to say.
All the shit I've ingested, and that's what makes me sick, right, Kev?
Unbelievable.
So, but anyway, on June 5th, Kev, what we want to talk about, since we don't have a guest tonight, because our esteemed colleague, Sam Houston, shit the bed and decided to get sick at the last minute. I hope you're feeling well, Sam. Hint, hint, wink, wink. We're June 5th, we're making our return to Championship Wrestling from Florida, right, Kev? In Palmetto, Florida.
Right.
So we're going to be down in Championship Wrestling from Florida. So, Kev, you just recently did something for a panel for a Florida Championship Wrestling from Florida.
Yeah, it was for the Vice channel, and they're doing sort of like Back to the Territories. It was me, Bob Roop, Brian Blair, Steve Kern, and Gerald Briscoe.
Wow,
It was incredible. It was great.
Was that? It was awesome, right?
Yeah, it was really good.
Aren't they doing another one on the territories in Hawaii and
Everywhere. They're going to do it everywhere. Yeah.
That's gonna be pretty amazing. Are they gonna do the NWA at all, or the old NWA, or Mid Atlantic?
I'm sure they'll do Mid Atlantic, but I'm not sure about. I'm sure they're going to try to get every NWA territory. In fact, the next day they did Calgary.
Wow. Who was on that panel? Do you have any idea?
I don't know. No.
Wow. Speaking of Calgary, I just saw Jacques and Raymond Rougeau at the 80s WrestleCon. So, and it was the first time I ever met Jacques Rougeau, and it was really cool, really nice guy, great guy. You know,
is he mayor of the town he lives in?
I don't know. He just had some kind of neck surgery or something because he had the scar in his throat. So, but he looks great. I always said he was the Hulk Hogan of Canada for his period of time, you know?
Yeah.
So, as a matter of fact, Cuban Assassin Dave Sierra says to me, he says, when I go to Cuba, I'm the Hulk Hogan of Cuba. Antonio Inoki is the Hulk Hogan of Japan. He goes, Jacques Rougeau is the Hulk Hogan of Canada. He said, who else did he say? He said somebody else. I forgot. Oh, Carlos Colon is the Hulk Hogan of Puerto Rico, but I'm the Hulk Hogan of Cuba. I upheld that banner for years. It was funny as hell. And I said, yeah, you also upheld El Gigante in the Elegante, whatever they called him, in the Cadillacs he was driving. Tell us a little bit about that, Kevin.
David borrowed a few Cadillacs when he was driving Elegante around. Yeah, he had a great job. He was Elegante's assistant, personal assistant. So David drove him to all the towns, got paid very well. And a few Cadillacs were traded off.
Traded off, why? Because the passenger side seat was all the way in the back seat.
Probably.
How tall was Gonzalez?
A legit 7'2".
Wow. So he was actually, in fact, taller than Andre.
Andre was taller when he first came to New York, and then he started shrinking a little. But Andre, I've seen them all just about, but nobody was as impressive as Andre.
Wow. Well, I think Andre's posture started going as he started getting the agramilia started getting taking a foothold in his body, you know. So, but anyway, so getting back to Florida. So June 5th, we're going to be in Florida, and it's you and me again, you in my corner against the Cuban Heist, that guy Romeo Acevedo. So it's going to be another fight. We just took him on in Daytona, and kicked his ass in Daytona, and we'll kick his ass again, Kev.
Right. Very good talent. And I'm looking. I mean, we're in the Daytona building, and that building has a lot of memories for me because I opened up that building and I told Mike Grammer to outdraw Lakeland, which was our best town. And I bet $500, and it did outdraw the town. And Mike found out we had a big house there in Lakeland. Mike actually took a helicopter to Daytona and came in by helicopter. He knew how to make an entrance. That's
great.
But that building also was the building Hogan turned heel with the NWO. There's a lot of memories.
A lot of history in that building. Yep, that place was good.
Yeah.
I mean, the show itself wasn't in the actual arena. It was in the actual one of the ballrooms to the side. So, but
Right.
When we were getting dressed, we were walking into that area where the arena was, and that was pretty cool seeing all that.
And Steve did a hell of a job, didn't he?
Yeah. Steve did
He did a hell of a job promoting that. He really did.
he had a hell of an event, and I think so many people came just to see the wrestling, not so much as the convention itself.
Yeah, because they had so much wrestling there that day.
Right.
Like 3 times.
Three separate shows, so that was pretty
Yeah.
cool. So in the meantime, my lungs are feeling kind of smoky because somebody got me sick last night.
Yeah. Mr. Tough Guy over here, Mr. Badass. He takes one errant smoke on a cigar. He inhales, and he's Mr. Poo Poo to Panties over here.
When it wasn't one smoke, it was about 45 minutes of that cigar, and somebody decided to become a Ukrainian bride and doing his impression of a Ukrainian mail order bride. And I just start gagging and laughing on my cigar.
What? You and Kevin have been all over the world. You've heard what plenty of Ukrainian brides sound like. Show me the money. Don't even talk to me. I don't care what you say. You don't care if your name is Andrew, Billy, Bob. I don't give a shit. Fucking tell him, Kevin. You don't see the cookie without the money.
Exactly.
You don't see the cookie without the money.
See, Kevin's not laughing. Kevin's heard it a million times before. I don't give a shit what your name is. Just you fucking show me the money, bitch. You show me now. Come on.
So Matty, we got some good news on Kevin's front and on Linda Sullivan's book on production and a screenplay is coming into effect over there at the hands of two people.
Yep.
You want to
So
take?
we've got the book in the hands of Mr. Del Harvey and Mr. Israel Moreno. So things are looking good on that front. Like I said, it's one hell of a story to tell. Kevin, going to let you talk about a little bit about it more on behalf of Linda.
Yeah.
And got that in the works.
Yeah. It's called Old School, and it's a historical novel, and people that love the history of the business will really get into it. And she did, I think, a hell of a job on it. Just listen to me chirping in the background. And it's really grabs you. I'm not just saying that because she wrote it. It really is intriguing because you're going to learn stuff about the business that you didn't know, about them getting rid of athletic commissions and how they did it, about how the connection between the NWA started and why it started. And you got to realize that started in 1948. And there was a lot of things going on about that time. That was the first time that the word mafia had ever been heard in the United States, just about, except in Italian neighborhoods. So it's The Sopranos meets pro wrestling. It's pretty good.
Very cool. And they can get that on Amazon, correct, Kev?
Right, Amazon. And it's Old School, and this ring's called Old School Ring Squared. And like I said, it's a history of the business from a fictitious story, but it's not too fictitious. The names have been changed to protect the innocent. And it's very intriguing because it starts in 1948, how there was a merger between wrestling and some unsavory characters.
Very cool. So everybody.
Speaking of unsavory characters, our own co-host Kevin Sullivan is getting finally the men's wrestling award for 2022 at the Cauliflower Alley this September in Las Vegas. So congratulate you. Long overdue, way long overdue. Should have been done years ago, but announced. I knew about 6 months before it was announced. Brian Blair called me up, and the late Carl Lauer actually called me up and told me we're going to be honoring Kevin. And they said, would you like to get up there and do it? And I said, yes, absolutely. I would love to. And, don't let Kevin know about it until we make it official. But, then Brian called Linda and Kevin up. And then another thing also this August, I think it's in August, maybe in July. I think it's in August. Kevin is also going to be honored at the Gathering at the Fan Fest, the NWA Fan Fest, now known as the Gathering in Charlotte. So, Kevin, this is like becoming your year.
As the great late Groucho Marx said, anybody who wants me to be a member of their club, I don't want to be a member. You know what I mean? If they drop their level to inviting me in, they're really dragging the bottom of the barrel. But I'm very, very honored to do this. Andrew's going to induct me. So it's going to be a great time. And, it's nice to be recognized. So, but I couldn't do it without Andrew, Maty, my family. Everybody listened to my stories and my bullshit for years. So it's not just me being honored, it's my friends being honored and the people that I work for. I work for a lot of smart people, and it's going to be good. And Craig Massey's going to be there, of course. Yep. Craig has been a very instrumental part of us for the last 5 or 6 years. And I hope Maty gets a chance to come out and we have a.
Well, Andrew, it's funny you say that. Andrew keeps inviting me, but when those days come, I don't hear anything. Like this weekend, I was
I don't know. Go to the website. Go to the website. Tell caulifloweralley.com. Go to the
Wait.
website. Sound familiar?
Oh, so it's like,
Vulgar?
whoa. You hear what he's saying? Whoa, you chose not to come. You got everything you go.
No.
Like Kev,
No.
I've had to take a shit, just so you know, since Friday. Do you know why? Because Drew goes, hey, you're coming to the thing in Morristown in New Jersey this weekend. So I stood by the phone, Kev. I didn't want to move. I didn't want to take a shit. I got a blocked bowel now waiting for this cocksucker over here to get back to me. I'm going to take a shit the size of a fucking whale.
You missed a hell of a time. More got to give Tommy Fierro, credit where credit was due. He ran a pretty good show. I mean, it had Jesse Ventura, Demolition, Beefcake, Val.
I heard it was an excellent show.
I wouldn't know, jerk off.
I worked with him just recently, a couple of months ago. Runs a first class show, takes care of you. I mean, just a great guy. Very smart about the wrestling business. Now he's starting a little promotion, and we all wish him the best of luck. And I know that we all need luck, but it comes back to hard work. Hard work makes luck. So
Yep.
he's been really working hard at this, and I can't wait to see what turns out, because he'll put out a first class product.
Yep.
That's for sure.
As a matter of fact, somebody was talking to me. A friend of mine came up to me and said something about Kevin Sullivan, and he said to me, "Did you know that Kevin Sullivan has done so much for race relations in the United States, as far as your relationship with first interracial tag team with Tony Atlas beating the Russians, tag team champions, how you did so much. You were tag teaming with him all those years, and what was it? Who was it? Jane, the lady on the news.
Jane Kennedy, NBC.
Yep, on NBC.
I was in we were in the Omni. It was the year we boycotted the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
And I got called up to the office at the Omni, Jim Barnett's, and that usually wasn't a good call to be called up to the office. And I'm saying, oh, what's going on here? And Jim was up in his room and in his office, and he was drinking some cognac out of this pewter mug that had all these semi-precious jewels on it. And he said to me, Kevin, my boy, do you want a little bit of cognac? So I thought it was the drink out the door, and I said, sure. So he said, I don't know what you've done, my boy. Are you intimate with Jane Kennedy? I said, what are you talking about, Jim? He said, she's going to call in 5 minutes, and she wants to talk to you. So she got on the phone, and that Saturday before on TBS, Tony and I went in the audience and I got a black Cub Scout and Tony got a white Cub Scout and put him on our knee. And we were saying there's no East, there's no West, there's no North, and there's no South. It's just America. And she said, that's the first time we ever saw anything progressive from wrestling. And that night we beat Koloff and Smirnoff for the tag team belts, and they put it on the NBC News and said, we boycotted the Olympics tonight, but we'll tell you, the Americans won tonight, the World Tag Team Champions. They showed Tony and I beating Koloff and Smirnoff, and that Tony and I had a gigantic American flag we were waving. So we got recognized for that. And, Tony's a dear friend of ours, and what a specimen Tony was. And then later on, I turned against Tony. Great performer, drew all kinds of money all over, but Atlanta was his town.
And you know who that friend who said that to me was? Tony Atlas. Tony called me up and up about you. He just wanted me to let you know that he always remembers that most about you, and that about the time when he polished himself up in the locker room to make sure he was all
Yeah. When he first started, he started right on top, and George Scott said to him, Tony, we want you to go out there and shine tonight. And Tony put a bottle of baby oil on him, and he came back, and the match wasn't the greatest because he was brand new. And George said, Tony, I wanted you to shine. I wanted you to shine. He said, George, I couldn't have shined anymore. I had a bottle of baby oil. Everybody broke up. Tony's a good man.
He's a good guy. Hey, you
I
know
love
what he said to
Tony.
me? Tony said something. I said, now Tony knows because Tony and I we used to like sort of roughhouse sometimes. And Tony was a hell of a Greco-Roman and freestyle wrestler in his day. So Tony used to actually throw me around, which is not an easy thing to do. So, and this is when Tony was a little older too at the time. And I asked Tony one time, just as a matter of fact, about 4 days ago, I asked him in passing, who do you think was was the toughest guy in the wrestling business? And he said, Haku, as usual, as everybody else does. But he said something that caught me off guard. He said, Swede Hansen.
Oh, Swede was a tough man. Former boxer. I saw one time Swede had a bar in Charlotte. And it was probably the only time I ever went to his bar because we used to meet in that parking lot. And usually I go straight home, but they talked me to come, and this guy was giving Swede a bunch of crap. And the guy said to Swede, step outside and I'm going to show you. And I thought, whoa, bad move by this guy. He hit him so hard, the guy had loafers on. The guy actually came out of his shoes. Swede was very, very tough. I mean, he had fists the size of Blackjack Mulligan, big raw bone guy, super strong. He had a head like you, Andrew. He had a huge head, huge body, but
Fuck you, Matt.
super nice guy. I mean, he was a super nice guy, but he was tough. You know what I mean? You know, when they talk about tough guys, another, you know, as time goes by, we forget people. And I'm with you. And I think the whole wrestling community, if you say who's the toughest, it comes out to Haku. But back in the day, you couldn't discount Karl Gotch. I mean,
Really?
Karl was, you know, they called him the god of wrestling in Japan. And he went over there and taught everybody. He was actually in Inoki's corner when Inoki fought Ali, and that was a shoot.
Wow.
And, you know, he one time in Columbus, Ohio, I don't know who stirred who up, but him and Big Bill Miller, who was a national wrestling champion, and he got at least 8 letters from the University of Ohio, and for wrestling and track and field. But they had some kind of disagreement with Buddy Rogers, and Gotch broke Buddy Rogers' arm just by grabbing him. Yeah.
Well, he was the original Hands of Stone, huh?
Yeah, people forget about this as time goes by, but Gotch, the other one was George Gordienko, and everybody that came from Wigan was super tough. There was a guy called Bert Azarati. He was 5'6", 5'7" at most. He was 320 pounds. He had been a circus strongman and a gymnast. He could, at 320 pounds, do a backflip and end up in the same spot that he started. And he also could take beer caps and put them in between his fingers. So he'd have, you know, 4 of them, because 2 in each hand, and he would squeeze the beer caps and they would bend it in his hand.
Crazy.
I mean, he wanted to shoot with Lou Thez, and it never happened. But, you know, and then there was another guy from India, and he was The Rock before The Rock. He was a big movie star, and became a producer later on in life. His name was Dara Singh. And him and Thez wrestled each other in India, and they wrestled each other in Montreal and Toronto.
Wow.
But when they went to Thez and Dara Singh went to India, they were drawing crowds of over 100,000 people. This was back in the mid 50s. So, I mean, amazing, amazing athlete. And his son is still in, the last I heard, producing movies in India, which is, you know, the Hollywood of the world.
Bollywood pictures. Yeah. Hey,
guys,
Kev, you know, I want to.
Guys, before I forget, for your Florida deal, what website can guys and gals go to get tickets? Before I forget to mention that.
CWF Reloaded, I guess, CWFreloaded.com, just for that, for June 5th. Also, we're going to be at the River City Wrestling Con on the 9th, 10th, and 11th in Jacksonville, Florida. I'm wrestling on the 11th. I'm wrestling on the Sunday show with Kevin in my corner against one of the La Sangra, which was the Cuban Heist tag team partner. His name is Vertigo. So I'm going to be working against him in the ring. So he's a tough guy from Puerto Rico. So it should be an interesting match. But yeah, as far as that goes. But before we break for a commercial, I want to just say, Kevin, it's kind of sad. We just lost a friend of ours who we saw not too long ago, last September, at the Cauliflower Alley. Charlie Smith, referee.
Yeah. Charlie Smith, the first NWA I was ever in. Charlie Smith was the head referee back in the day in Georgia Championship Wrestling. And Charlie was a good man, great referee, but a better guy.
Yeah.
Great guy.
Charlie.
But he lived a full life. How old was Charlie? 93?
90-something, 92, I think. He survived COVID. He wound up getting COVID at the Cauliflower Alley from his visit, as well as a handful of other people. Tom Casati passed away from COVID, and he was there at the Cauliflower Alley last September. And Charlie got it at his advanced age, and he survived it. He pulled through, but he passed away. Father Time caught up, and I don't know if he had any underlying medical conditions or anything, but Charlie passed away about 2 weeks ago. Yeah, and it was a rough one. Charlie was a great guy. It was always great seeing him. And the reason why I'm thinking of Charlie, and also is because the Charlie Smith Referee Award at the Cauliflower Alley is going to be presented to our previous guest that we had on In the Dungeon, Billy Silverman. He's going to be getting the award. So he's going to be honored by the Cauliflower Alley Club, along with you, Kev. So it's pretty fitting. Two guys from who live in Florida for a long time getting honored.
Yeah, that's Billy's a good guy. He deserves it. I mean, he was a hard-working referee. Billy was always there. He was Johnny on the spot. So congratulations, Billy.
Congratulations, Billy.
Kudos,
we love
brother.
you.
All right, guys, we're going to go do a quick commercial for 30 seconds to pay the bills. So we'll catch you up in about 30 seconds. Hey, kids, we are back with the gang. They just had a couple of things for some upcoming events that they wanted to talk to you all about. And Drew is on tour once again with Mr. Ace Frehley. So take it from there, big boy.
Yeah, Friday, we're going to be in Glenview, Pennsylvania, right on the outskirts of Philadelphia. And that's going to be our Friday night. And on Saturday night, we're going to be in Wilmington, Delaware at the Queen. And then we're going to be in Hudson Falls, New York this Sunday. And this Sunday, we're going to be in Hudson Falls, New York at the Strand. So go out, check out Ace doing all his classic Kiss numbers, his solo stuff. And I'll be there in his corner as his bodyguard, as usual, watching his back, my buddy, and the Spaceman from Kiss. And then the following week, Kevin, we have some shows in New York and Brooklyn, right? The 19th, the 20th, and 21st. You have 3 shows. I'm on one of them with you.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to coming to New York. I mean,
You're managing in Crowbar on the first one, I think.
Yeah, it's the capital of the world, New York, right? So I'm really looking forward.
Absolutely.
looking forward to being in
You coming into
York.
Newark or you going into Kennedy, Kev?
I'm going into LaGuardia, yeah.
All right. So hopefully I'll get to see you on this trip in.
Yeah, I would love it.
Coming up, you're going to be at the Barnsmoker this weekend, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So it's nice to get back out on the road. I think I could say the same for you, especially guys out in the wrestling world. It's good to be back out in the world, doing events, doing the stuff that we love, and being around people.
June 29th for Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling, PAPW, in Southington, Connecticut. Kevin and I are going to be at the Cadillac Ranch, along with Mario Mancini, Paul Roma, and a host of other wrestlers coming up. A great show on a Wednesday night in June, and we're looking forward to it. I mean, I have a lot more dates, both wrestling and working with Ace and working with Kevin. So we have a lot of stuff going on. Like I said, June 9th, 10th, and 11th at the River City Wrestling Con in Jacksonville, Florida. And we have that in June 5th in Palmetto, Florida for Championship Wrestling from Florida. So, Jeff Weaver is running a really good promotion down there. He's trying his best. And, SW Fury is making its return with SW Fury 3. So can't wait for that. We got some great guys involved in that, top talent and from not just from Texas this time, but from all over the country. Right, Kevin?
Two who I think is terrific.
Yep.
Hammerstone. Charlie Haas. We also have Moonshine Mantell, the host of great performers.
Yep.
And I'm looking forward because, they've put together the start of a great company. So I'm really looking forward to seeing them take off.
Yes, we can't wait to be part of that. And I'm honored to be included in that. Of course, Max Castellanos will be involved. And so it should be a really great run of shows there. Hopefully it lasts a lot longer than the previous incarnation because, it was a good thing going and it's still a good thing going. So,
Yeah, it's on to bigger and better. They got
better things, man. I said it's 360. It's going in a whole other direction. And it's not just going to be a local company now. It seems like it's going to be national. So, and the guys backing it and running it are, the brains behind it are just tremendous. And of course, you're one of the guys who's helping book and run it. So, looking forward to working with you again as usual, Kevin. Seems like I can't lose you no matter how I try.
And then there's Aaron Presley.
Oh, Aaron's
really put together a great number of towns. He's booked all the way from August to January at this point. He's into some major colleges, so it's going to be really, really a big deal. Big kickoff.
Howard is back too. So,
right.
So, of course, like I said, Charlie Haas, Moonshine, Max Castellanos, Hammerstone, Jacob Fatu. Anyone else that
Warsaw, right?
Well, Ivan Warsaw, I think. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out, but he's got some great talent. So, and speaking of talent, today, I wound up taking care of a nagging injury in my quad, and I went to my stem cell doctor for Florida Stem Cells and BioRestore at Integrated Pain Management, and I got my stem cells put in my quad today, which happened to be one of the most painful injections that I ever got. But also accompanying me to get my stem cells was a mutual friend of yours, Kevin, Enzo Amori, Eric. He came down to get his stem infusion in of stem cells. He got the infusion in. It was kind of funny. I had to hold his hand while he was getting the. You've seen the pictures of needle
we
put in
air
his
out
arm.
everybody's shit here, man. If you got a secret, $50. Drew's gonna tell it. He's gonna tell you ain't got shit. If he's got something on you, you're done. Just FYI.
I saw Tokyo almost cry when he was getting blood drawn one time for the Oklahoma State Athletic Commission. He looked like he was going to cry. So
don't tell him no more secrets, Kev. He'll throw you right the fuck under the bus and back up over you.
I know. And the other thing, Enzo is one of the best talents I've ever seen. Great wrestling mind. Hopefully we'll see him in Texas soon.
Love to.
And hopefully we'll see him in Florida soon.
Yeah, we're looking at.
Along with Gangrel.
Yeah,
We see
Gangrel is
Gangrel.
also on those shows. Gangrel is already booked for June 5th. So Dave will definitely be there June 5th. So, and, so we're looking forward to that too. So can't wait for June 5th and Championship Wrestling from Florida in Palmetto. And I think August 13th, the return of SWE 360. So guys, it was great talking to you today. Hopefully next week we'll have an interesting guest. We'll announce it right before we air the show this Saturday at 9. And talk to you guys later, man. It was great seeing you guys, talking to you, and Maddie. Hopefully you won't get me sick again with that cigar.
I can't even.
Yeah.
I can't even.
Hey, Maddie, every day I go out to the mailbox, I'm waiting for those sticks. You know?
See?
Yeah,
I got you covered, baby.
I know you
got you
do.
covered.
You
I
say
got you,
the,
baby.
the two of you have one thing in common. You wait till I take a drag of a cigar in order to make me laugh, so I inhale. Kevin, on the other hand, waits for me to take a glass of water or a drink before he says something so prolific that it comes out my nose.
I'm still trying to figure it out, Kevin. Out of all the things this man's done in his life, it's my cigar that fucks him up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, much love, much respect. Much love on behalf of the Maty and the Farrow family. Peace and love, and we'll catch you all soon.